Remember back in the day when you wanted to contact a celebrity? You had to actually write them a letter, and maybe, just maybe, they would not only read it, but NPH would also send you back an autographed picture.
Well, now contacting a famous person is much easier than that. All you need is one of 20 social media accounts.
Yep, all you do is tweet, or whatever, your favorite actor, musician, or actor-musician, and chances are they will see it.
Which is great because you could say things like, hey, I love your work, or excellent new song. But you could also say horrible things. Really, really horrible things.
At this point, I'm sure you are all aware of what a troll is. Besides these adorable collectible figures from the 90s, they are people who spend their days commenting and harassing others on the internet with the intention of being absolutely awful. Less this, and more this.
And the intensity of these put-downs can be seen as a joke sometimes. Jimmy Kimmel even has a segment about it called Celebrities Read Mean Tweets, where famous people read horrible insults that people say about them.
Daniel Radcliffe is one of God's most unattractive creations since the aardvark.
But most of the time, these trolls go way too far.
Like the case of Leslie Jones and her social media battle. She's one of 4 cast members of the new Ghostbusters film who has received some of the worst hatred a person who wasn't running for office has ever received. For absolutely no reason. She's in a movie about laser beams and ghosts.
She, for months, would wake up to the most racist comments one can imagine. Here's an example of a post she received.
Here someone tweets a comparison of her to an ape. Classy.
Not to mention death threats, which is kind of the standard now on social media. But anyway, Leslie Jones left Twitter, and the trolls, they claim this is free speech. But it's not. It's harassment. If your kids received this treatment at school, the bullies would be expelled and then brought up on charges. If I did this to somebody at work, I'd be fired and then brought up on charges. Should be the same thing on social media. And these trolls are relentless, making comments because they're sad and have nothing else to do with their lives. You would never find a happy person purposely going to a computer and saying these terrible things. It's a very special kind of sickness. Like Norman Bates. He would do something like this. And this kind of harassment came about because everybody nowadays can be a harsh critic. Could you imagine if they had social media back in the day with Mozart, Amelia Earhart, or Vincent van Gogh? He would have cut off both ears. And there are definitely certain outlets that are meaner than others. Like YouTube is by far the worst. I recently interviewed Louis C.K. and Kevin Hart, and one of the comments was, and I quote, "If I had a gun with 2 bullets and I was in a room with Bin Laden, Hitler, and the interviewer, I would shoot the interviewer twice." Hitler. And 90% of the time, these trolls use faceless accounts, hiding behind anonymity because they're scared to say these things as themselves. They're cowards. It's a fact.
So whoever you are, famous or not, doesn't matter. If you're bullied by an internet troll, it probably means you're happy or a success, which unfortunately is something these trolls will never, ever be.